Hi guys, Geechu64 here, and today we are going to be talking about Notes from Melanie, which is Chris Stuckmann's newest short film. I say newest because he did another short film called Auditorium 6, which I haven't seen. I don't believe he's put that on YouTube yet. I think he's still working on some distribution paths or something for it, so I haven't seen that yet. So I guess technically this is his second released. Although he also did another short film, which wasn't really a short film, it was a holiday special he did, where him and his wife go out into the woods and they're just reviewing Halloween movies. And then there's like a ghost murderer that shows up. A lot of people just don't remember that. I thought that was honestly, I thought that was one of the best things he's done on his channel. I loved it. You may be asking, why am I reviewing a short film? Because I don't normally review short films on this channel. Well, here's the thing, is Chris Stuckmann, Jeremy Johns, John Flickinger. These three guys, or guys I followed for a long time, they're the ones who inspired me to start a YouTube channel. I have actually been doing this for years. Now, my early stuff is terrible. And, if you go back and look at all three of those guys' earlier stuff, it wasn't as polished either. I was definitely worse. Hopefully I've improved at least a little bit. I think that I have. I think I've improved some. But seriously, these guys inspired me to start my YouTube channel. And when they do a project or they do something that I feel like I can actually review or put a voice in, or maybe direct people to that maybe don't follow those guys, I feel like I should. And I actually, after seeing this, had enough thoughts where I really do feel like I could do a review on this. So I hope you guys are ready for the truth.
Oh, geek.
True. 64.
Geek. Truth. Geek.
True. 64. Oh, shit.
So what is Notes from Melanie about? Well, Notes from Melanie is basically about this guy. He basically makes these schlock movies, like these Asylum Pictures movies, like the Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus and Transmorphers, Alien Hunters, and man, Asylum sucks. If you've never heard of Asylum, they're probably great movies to have a few drinks and watch with your buddies and make fun of. But that's basically the kind of movies that this guy makes. And he has a friend who he wants to come in and give him feedback on the script, because he's not happy with making the schlock movies. He wants to make a big budget movie. He wants to make something that affects people personally. He wants to write something that's meaningful, because he doesn't really feel fulfilled in writing those things. So his friend comes in to give him some feedback. This happens a lot. If you're a creative person, usually when you come up with whatever it is creatively, you share it with people who are your friends first to get some feedback before you show it to people who are not your friends. Because some people out there are real jerks, and they just are just there to crush you, and that's it. Constructive criticism is great. That means you can take something and improve from it. If they just tell you it's crap, that's not helpful for anybody. So he's showing this to his friend, and his friend is not doesn't understand it, and with good reason, because apparently from the little bits we see in this short film, it sucks. It's not good. Now, as I said, I follow Chris Stuckmann's channel. He's been doing this thing over, I think a little over a year now, where he talks about his filmmaker's journey. He's been trying to put some more time into actually making something and getting it out there. He's trying to become a legit filmmaker. And as such, he's doing these short films and getting them into festivals, which is, hey man, more power to you. I wish I had the time and energy to go do that. And that's kind of why I connected with this short film. And I feel like anybody can identify with the story here, because even if you're not creative, most people have been stuck in some job or doing something in their life that they don't necessarily feel fulfilled with. They don't feel fulfilled in what they're doing. Maybe if you are a creative person, whatever your job is, it doesn't really allow you to be creative and take advantage of your skills in that way. So you really just kind of want to get something out there. So you kind of feel for this guy. Regardless if you're a writer or not, it doesn't really matter. We've all felt that way at some point. Now, when Chris Stuckmann started talking about this short film, I actually thought it was the reverse of what the short film actually ended up, because I actually thought it was this guy who wrote a script, and it was like this great masterpiece, and he's pitching it out there, and they're like, no, you got to change all this. You got to do this, that, and the other thing, and nobody understands this. This isn't marketable. You know, where's the explosions? Where's the CGI? Where's all the standard movie tropes? It's not in here. I'm going to butcher your script, and that's the only way this thing's going to get made. I thought that was kind of the direction he was going with this short film, but that's really not the case, as I said to begin with. And this whole short film really relies on Mason Hayter and Kathleen E. Newberry. Those are the two actors in this short film, because basically the whole short film is them. Great acting from these two actors, because they have to carry it. They have to carry this film because it's basically just them in a room talking. And that's it. So if they don't work, the whole thing falls apart. So a lot of their dialogue, again, just goes back to Chris Stuckmann's writing. I thought it was, for the most part, pretty engaging, and the actors are really into it. I didn't feel like they were really acting at very many points. It just felt like, you know, a normal conversation you might have with somebody. So because this whole short film takes place in one room, having the posters from the schlock movies that this guy's made, starring John Flickinger as Johnny Flexter, which was good, and apparently John Flickinger designed all those posters, which is someone who is really into graphic design. I think he did a pretty good job making them. And they also, just in the background, help provide some levity to what's happening, because, you know, yes, this is kind of a comedy, but it's mostly a drama. It's more about this guy coming to terms with, you know, who he is and where his creative talents lie. And because this all takes place in one room, you really kind of feel claustrophobic at times while watching it, which I think is kind of how the main character feels. The main character feels boxed into what the studios want from him, which is to make these schlock movies. He makes money, and, you know, that's all well and good, but he feels boxed in. Like, he feels like he can't really do anything other than do these schlock movies. And when you're watching it, and it all takes place in a room, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but it just kind of makes you feel claustrophobic at times. The camera angles and just how stationary everything is for the majority of the short film just makes you feel boxed in, closed in, which is, like I said, that's kind of what the guy feels like, the main character feels like. I know basically the whole reason why it takes place in one room is because they're trying to keep costs down. I mean, it's a short indie film that he's putting together. He doesn't have, you know, tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars to really have tons of location shots and take all this time with these actors to, you know, put something together. So yes, I understand the whole point is literally just to cut costs down. But again, I don't know if that was intentional or not, but the fact that it all takes place in a room, I mean, I think it worked out. So the music here was done by Aaron J. Morton. So this is somebody that Chris Stuckmann's mentioned previously in some of his videos as helping him. And I like the soundtrack here is pretty good. I actually wish I got more of it. And honestly, I didn't really appreciate it as much in the short film as I did the behind the scenes stuff, because he showed previously months ago, like, bits of this guy's music. And it's really good. Like, that's straight movie quality. But it's done in a way that still makes this specific short film feel like indie quality. And I mean indie quality in a good way. It's not meant as an insult. This guy is great at coming up with some original pieces of music. I'd like to hear more of it. I like to hear more of what he comes up with, because this guy can do some stuff. I'm just saying. What's very unique about this short film, as opposed to other short films, is the fact Chris Stuckmann lets us in behind the scenes. He takes us on the journey with him by doing these filmmaker journey videos that he's been putting out on his channel. So if you followed him for years, you know, on his reviews and other videos he's done, I love his hilariosity stuff as well. if you followed him on for all that time, and he's just letting you in behind the scenes so you can kind of understand his passion going into the movie. And as such, I inherently care more about the short film because I understand where he's coming from. I understand the passion behind it. And while the passion does come across in the short film, if it was just some random short film that I saw and didn't understand the backstory to, I wouldn't like it as much. I mean, it's like if one of your friends showed you a film or something that they were working on, and they're like, "Hey, I'm sharing this with you. Let me know what you think." You're inherently going to like it more because you know the person behind it. And that's basically what this short film is. I appreciate it more just because Chris Stuckmann did it, who is someone who I've followed for years on YouTube and is trying to just live out his dream. And I appreciate that. We need more positive things on YouTube. I do have a few critiques because everything can be improved. And this is no different. This is a short film, so I'm not as adept at reviewing these as opposed to full-length feature films or like a TV series, which have a whole lot more content to be reviewed and a whole lot of more stuff going on. So one critique I have is that it's too long. I feel like the short film is too long. It comes in at 20 minutes, and I feel like it's a few minutes too long. If you cut it down to like 16 minutes, that might have helped. Or keep it at 20 minutes, but because it's all in one room, that just doesn't help. You need to break away. And I know you're trying to keep costs down, so that's why it all takes place in one room. But maybe a few on-location shots. Like they talk about college at one point in this short film, and I think maybe showing them in college, having a discussion, like a flashback scene, that'd be good. Or if you can't even if you can't do that, maybe just do a shot of them, on a college campus, and with overdubbed on them having their normal dialogue that they have in the short film. So you wouldn't even have to change anything, but visually it'd give us a little bit of break from the room that we're in. I know earlier I said I like the fact it takes place in one room because you feel kind of boxed in and closed in. But because of that, it also gets monotonous over 20 minutes of just one room. They do try and break it up with little flashbacks of the schlock movies he's done, which are awesome. But they don't really tie into the main short story. They're just kind of there to give some levity. And as such, they do a great job at that. But as I said, I just think it's too long. I think the short film's too long for the content that's in the film. That's my main critique of this. So that's my review for Notes from Melanie. I'd like to get more in depth in how these guys, Chris Stuckmann and Jeremy Johns and John Flickinger, kind of inspired me to do the channel. Obviously, Cinemassacre, what James Rolfe does with his channel, Angry Video Game Nerd, you might know him better as, but he's getting into the rental reviews. Red Letter Media, like all these channels that I follow and I enjoy. Now, part of the thing when you're breaking on a scene, there's such an oversaturation of channels that talk about, movies and pop culture and geek stuff. It's easy to just be buried. So if one little piece of advice I would give to anybody who is starting a channel is that do it because you want to. Do it because you enjoy it. Do it because you love to talk about movies. And do it because you want to maybe challenge yourself just to see if you can do it. Do it for yourself is what I'm trying to tell you. Don't make a channel to pander to anybody else. Don't do a channel because you think you're going to make a bunch of money or any money at all. Do it for the love of talking about movies, and you will have a good time. I've done this for years. My style has changed a lot. My early videos were terrible. They suck. They're still up if you want to see how terrible they are. I had no idea what I was doing. I just wanted to talk about movies. And over time, I've gotten better at just, having normal conversations, the camera, because I just act like somebody's there. Because at this point, there are some people who are actually watching my videos. I'm not just talking to a camera. So that's just kind of my 2 cents on if you guys want to start a channel. That's my little advice. So that's my review for Notes from Melanie. Again, if you have not checked it out, it's on YouTube. It's free. It's 20 minutes. I think it's a good use of your 20 minutes for sure. And thank you guys for sticking around on this video of me reviewing it. I really appreciate it. And thank you subscribers, because you guys are awesome, in case I've not said that enough. And if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, share it, do all the YouTube stuff, or don't. I'm not a beggar. I'm Geek264, and I'll always tell you the truth.